The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, punctuated by the soft hum of advanced technology aboard the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. Captain Huon Park stood perfectly still, his eyes fixed on the holographic display that flickered with countless star systems and unknown territories. Communication Officer J. Kim worked quietly at his station, fingers dancing across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with electronic life. Outside the ship's reinforced windows, distant stars twinkled like scattered diamonds against the infinite black canvas of space. Something unusual caught Jay's attention. A strange signal, weak but persistent, pulsed from a sector they had not previously mapped. Most crews would have ignored it, but humanity's recent space exploration had taught them that every anomaly held potential. "Captain," Jay called out, his voice steady but with an underlying note of excitement, "we're receiving an unusual transmission." Huon approached, his military training evident in every calculated movement. The signal was unlike anything they had encountered before. It wasn't random noise, nor was it a standard communication pattern. It felt deliberate, almost like a challenge. Aboard the Horizon, a diverse crew of scientists, engineers, and explorers waited with collective anticipation. They represented humanity's best and brightest, selected from thousands of candidates for this groundbreaking mission. Each member understood they were writing a new chapter in human history. The ship's advanced AI, nicknamed Guardian, began analyzing the transmission. Complex algorithms worked faster than human comprehension, breaking down each mathematical pattern, each electronic pulse. Something was different about this signal. It carried information that seemed both alien and familiar. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the mission's lead xenobiologist, reviewed the initial data. Her hands moved rapidly across her digital workspace, comparing the transmission against every known communication method in human databases. Something was unusual, almost provocative about these signals. "It's not random," she muttered to herself. "It's a deliberate communication." Meanwhile, in a distant part of the galaxy, unseen observers watched the Horizon's progress. The Galactic Consul, an ancient diplomatic entity, monitored humanity's first deep space exploration with a mixture of fascination and growing concern. Huon understood they were on the edge of something significant. Humanity had only recently developed faster-than-light travel capabilities, and each mission carried the potential to change everything they knew about their place in the universe. The strange transmission continued, growing stronger with each passing minute. Guardian's analysis suggested it was a complex mathematical sequence, almost like an invitation or a test. Some patterns resembled advanced quantum communication protocols, while others seemed to challenge human technological understanding. Jay worked meticulously, filtering and analyzing every fragment of data. His background in advanced communication systems made him uniquely qualified to decode unusual signals. Each passing second revealed more complexity, more intrigue. "Captain," Jay said, his voice betraying a hint of excitement. "This transmission, it's not just a message. It feels like a challenge." Hyun nodded, understanding the subtle implications. Humanity had always been defined by its ability to solve challenges, to push beyond known boundaries. This mysterious signal was another such challenge. The crew worked with synchronized precision. Engineers recalibrated communication arrays, scientists ran complex simulations, and the ship's AI continuously processed incoming data. They were not just exploring space, they were expanding the very definition of human potential. As hours passed, the transmission revealed glimpses of something extraordinary, fragments of advanced technological concepts, hints of complex civilizations and mathematical sequences that seemed to dance between logic and imagination. Dr. Rodriguez approached Captain Huon with her preliminary findings. "This isn't just a random signal," she explained, her eyes bright with scientific passion. "It's an invitation, or maybe a test." The Horizon continued its journey, the mysterious transmission becoming a constant companion. Humanity had entered a new phase of exploration, where each discovery promised to rewrite everything they understood about their place in the universe. Little did they know that their simple act of receiving and attempting to understand this transmission would set in motion events that would change galactic history forever. In the heart of Seoul, a small research laboratory hummed with an energy that felt different from ordinary scientific spaces. Dr. Seok-woo Lee stood before a complex array of quantum processors, his fingers moving carefully across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with electronic life. The project was unlike anything attempted before. What had started as a theoretical concept about adaptive technology was rapidly transforming into something far more revolutionary. Scattered around the laboratory, young researchers watched with a mixture of excitement and disbelief. Screens flickered with complex algorithms that seemed to move and change by themselves. Most scientific teams would have considered such rapid adaptation impossible, but Dr. Lee had always believed in pushing beyond known boundaries. A prototype combat drone sat in the corner of the laboratory. It looked simple, almost too simple. Its exterior was a matte gray with minimal visible technology, but inside something extraordinary was happening. The drone was learning, adapting, and evolving with each passing moment. Military observers from various global defense departments had been quietly monitoring the research. They saw something in Dr. Lee's work that went beyond traditional technological development. This wasn't just about creating a better machine, it was about creating a thinking system that could respond faster than human intelligence. The drone's first test came unexpectedly. During a routine simulation, the research team introduced multiple complex scenarios designed to challenge its processing capabilities. Most artificial systems would have struggled or failed completely. This drone did something different. It didn't just respond to the scenarios. It anticipated them. The machine began predicting potential outcomes, adapting its own programming in milliseconds. What should have taken weeks of human programming was happening in fractions of a second. Young researchers in the laboratory watched in stunned silence. Minji, a brilliant junior researcher, recorded the drone's performance with hands that slightly trembled from excitement. She knew they were witnessing something extraordinary. Outside the laboratory, the world continued its normal routine. People walked city streets, rode trains, and went about their daily lives completely unaware that a technological revolution was brewing in this small research center. The drone's adaptive capabilities went beyond simple military applications. Its underlying technology suggested possibilities in medical research, space exploration, disaster response, and countless other fields. Each adaptation was like watching intelligence being born in real time. Dr. Lee understood the profound implications. This wasn't just about creating a better machine. It was about reimagining the relationship between human intelligence and technological systems. The drone represented a bridge between human creativity and machine efficiency. Global intelligence agencies began taking serious notice. Encrypted reports started circulating through secure networks, highlighting the potential of Dr. Lee's research. What had seemed like a theoretical project was rapidly becoming a game-changing technological breakthrough. The prototype's most remarkable feature was its ability to learn from failure. Traditional systems would reset or shut down when encountering unexpected scenarios. This drone analyzed each failure, integrated the learning, and improved its response mechanism instantaneously. During one particularly complex simulation, the drone demonstrated something that bordered on artificial intuition. It didn't just process information. It seemed to understand context, predict outcomes, and make decisions that felt almost human. Military strategists who reviewed the initial reports began to see the drone as more than a technological tool. It represented a fundamental shift in how warfare, problem-solving, and technological adaptation could be approached. Dr. Lee worked tirelessly, understanding that he was standing at the edge of a potential technological revolution. Each line of code, each adaptive algorithm was a step towards reimagining human-machine interaction. The laboratory became a beacon of potential, attracting some of the brightest minds from around the world. Researchers came not just to observe, but to understand the profound implications of what was being created. As night fell over Seoul, the drone continued its silent evolution. Lights blinked softly on its surface, suggesting an intelligence that was growing, learning and preparing for challenges yet unknown. The world was about to change, and it would start from this small laboratory, with a drone that was learning to think faster than humans could imagine. The grand diplomatic chamber gleamed with holographic displays and intricate alien architectures. Ambassador Yoon-ah Kim stood at the center, her dark eyes scanning the representatives from dozens of galactic civilizations. She was smaller than most delegates, but something about her presence demanded attention. The Galactic Consul, an ancient being with skin like weathered stone, approached her with visible tension. His holographic projection flickered slightly, revealing the depth of his concern. Generations of diplomatic experience had taught him to read potential threats, and humanity represented the most unpredictable threat he had ever encountered. "We cannot allow Earth to become involved in the current conflict," the consul whispered, his voice carrying a mixture of warning and desperate plea. Yuna's smile was calm, almost dangerous. She understood exactly what was happening. The galactic powers had grown comfortable with their established conflicts, with their predictable warfare patterns. Humanity was about to change everything. Around them, alien delegates watched with growing unease. Representatives from the Zorn Confederacy and Actari Dominion exchanged nervous glances. They had heard reports about human technological capabilities, but seeing Ambassador Kim in person was something entirely different. The diplomatic chamber itself seemed to hold its breath. Complex translation systems worked overtime, converting multiple alien languages into human speech and vice versa. Each word carried potential for conflict or resolution. "Humanity seeks understanding," Yuna said carefully, her words chosen with surgical precision. "We are not interested in your wars, but we will not be ignored." The Galactic Consul knew this was more than a simple diplomatic statement. It was a declaration. Humanity was announcing its arrival on the galactic stage, not as a request, but as a fact. Diplomatic protocols that had existed for thousands of years suddenly felt obsolete. Human representatives approached interstellar politics with a combination of curiosity, strategic thinking, and an unwillingness to be controlled by existing power structures. Behind the diplomatic facade, massive information networks were working. Every conversation, every gesture was being analyzed by advanced human intelligence systems. They were gathering data, understanding the complex web of galactic relationships, preparing for whatever might come next. The Zorn representative, AEI, massive creature with multiple eyes and a crystalline exoskeleton, shifted uncomfortably. Human technological reports suggested capabilities that defied their understanding of scientific development. How could a species so young develop such advanced systems? "Your civilization is new," the Zorn representative stated. "You cannot understand the complexities of our conflicts." Yuna's response was immediate and calculated. "Every conflict has a solution. We simply have a different approach to finding it." The chamber fell silent. Her words carried a weight that transcended traditional diplomatic language. It was both a challenge and an invitation, a statement that suggested humanity would not be constrained by existing galactic rules. The Actari delegate, a being of pure energy contained within a mechanical suit, began scanning Ambassador Kim. Advanced sensory systems attempted to read her biological and psychological responses, but found something unexpected: complete calm and strategic readiness. Holographic displays around the chamber began showing silent data streams. Technological assessments, military capabilities, economic projections. Humanity was transparent about its potential, yet mysterious in its intentions. The Galactic Consul realized something profound was happening. Humanity was not asking to join the galactic community. They were preparing to reshape it. "We are here," Yuna continued, her voice steady, "to understand and to be understood." Those simple words carried more diplomatic weight than entire treaties. The alien representatives understood this was not a request for permission. This was an announcement of humanity's arrival. Outside the diplomatic chamber in the vast darkness of space, human exploration vessels continued their silent journey. Each mission, each technological breakthrough, was another step towards a future. that no existing galactic power could fully comprehend. The diplomatic tension was not about conflict. It was about transformation, and humanity was ready. The Crimson Nebula burned with the fury of 1,000 dying stars. Commander Tae-hyun Park watched the battle unfold from the bridge of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon, his hands steady on the command interface. Around him, a team of the most advanced human operators worked with machine-like precision. They weren't just soldiers. They were problem solvers, strategists who saw beyond traditional warfare. The conflict had been raging for decades. The Zorn Confederacy and Akthari Dominion had been locked in a seemingly endless war that consumed entire star systems. Massive battleships exchanged destructive energy bursts, creating graveyards of metal and lost hopes. But something changed when the human task force arrived. The Horizon wasn't the largest ship. It wasn't even the most heavily armed. But it carried something more powerful than weapons, a completely different approach to conflict resolution. Tae-hyun analyzed the battlefield like a complex mathematical problem. Where other commanders saw chaos, he saw patterns, predictable movements, exploitable weaknesses. "Prepare quantum interference protocol," he announced calmly. His team moved without hesitation. Unlike traditional military structures, this crew operated like a single organism. Each member understood their role, anticipated needs before they were spoken. The Zorn battleships, massive constructions of crystalline metal and advanced weaponry, suddenly found their systems experiencing unexplained disruptions. Communication networks collapsed. Weapon targeting became unreliable. What the humans introduced wasn't just a technological intervention. It was a complete reimagining of battlefield dynamics. Advanced adaptive drones, descendants of Dr. Seok-woo Lee's original prototype, began weaving through the battlefield. They weren't destroying ships. They were systematically neutralizing their operational capabilities. Akthari energy weapons, once considered the most advanced in the galaxy, found themselves unable to maintain consistent targeting. Quantum interference created invisible walls that redirected destructive energies. The battle wasn't about destruction anymore. It was about controlled, precise intervention. Alien commanders watched in stunned silence. Decades of warfare doctrine were being rewritten in moments. Humanity wasn't joining the conflict as another aggressive force. They were solving the conflict. Tae-hyun's strategy went beyond immediate military objectives. Each action was calculated to minimize casualties, create communication channels, and demonstrate a fundamentally different approach to resolving interstellar conflicts. "Establish communication network," he instructed. "Prepare diplomatic intervention protocols." While battles raged around them, human teams were already developing frameworks for potential peace negotiations. They saw the conflict not as a war to be won, but as a problem to be solved. The Horizon moved with unexpected grace. Its movements defied traditional space combat principles. Where other ships followed predictable paths, this vessel seemed to dance between potential realities. Zorn and Akthari ships found themselves increasingly isolated, not by force, but by the systematic dismantling of their communication and weapon systems. Humanity was demonstrating that true power wasn't about destruction, but about intelligent intervention. Within hours, what had been a massive, destructive conflict began transforming. The human task force hadn't destroyed anyone. They had simply made continued conflict impossible. Alien military leaders realized they were experiencing something unprecedented. This wasn't just a technological intervention. This was a complete paradigm shift in understanding conflict resolution. Commander Park watched the evolving scenario with calm professionalism. To him, this was another complex problem waiting to be solved, not through aggression, but through intelligent, calculated intervention. As the Crimson Nebula's energy signatures began stabilizing, something fundamental had changed. The galaxy was witnessing humanity's first major interstellar intervention, and it was nothing like anyone had expected. The galaxy watched in silent anticipation. Humanity's unexpected intervention had changed everything, and now the final chapter of transformation was unfolding. In the central Galactic Council chamber, human representatives stood different from other delegates. They weren't seeking permission. They were reshaping reality. Ambassador Yuna Kim stepped forward, her presence filling the massive holographic space. Behind her, screens displayed humanity's remarkable technological achievements. Adaptive combat systems, quantum communication networks, and revolutionary problem-solving algorithms that defied traditional understanding. The Galactic Consul, once terrified of humanity's potential, now watched with a mixture of respect and astonishment. The species he had desperately tried to prevent from entering galactic politics had instead become its most transformative force. Earth's technological leap was unprecedented. In mere decades, they had developed systems that took other civilizations millennia to create. Quantum computing, adaptive artificial intelligence, and communication technologies that seemed to bend the very rules of scientific possibility. Military strategists from dozens of alien civilizations studied human intervention strategies. What they discovered wasn't just advanced technology, it was a completely different approach to existence. Humanity solved problems instead of creating them. The Zorn Confederacy and Akhtari Dominion, once locked in endless conflict, found themselves fundamentally changed. The human approach to conflict resolution had exposed the futility of their decades-long war. Commander Tae-hyun Park and Dr. Seok-woo Lee watched from different stations, representing two sides of humanity's remarkable journey. One, a strategic, military mind, the other a brilliant technological innovator, both understanding that their species was writing a new chapter of galactic history. Diplomatic channels that once seemed rigid and controlled now became fluid and dynamic. Humans brought a unique perspective, viewing challenges as opportunities, conflicts as solvable problems, and diversity as a strength rather than a weakness. The technology developed in that small soul laboratory had transformed into something beyond imagination. Adaptive systems that could learn, predict, and solve complex scenarios faster than entire civilizations' combined computational powers. Alien representatives began to understand that humanity wasn't just another species entering galactic politics. They were a transformative force that would reshape existing structures. Communication networks transformed. Where previous civilizations used complex, rigid communication protocols, humans introduced adaptive, intuitive systems that could translate and understand across unprecedented barriers. The galaxy's power structures began shifting. Traditional hierarchies based on technological age and military might were being replaced by a new metric: problem-solving capability and adaptive potential. Humanity's rise wasn't about conquest. It was about understanding. Each technological breakthrough, each diplomatic intervention carried a fundamental message. Cooperation was more powerful than conflict. The Horizon and other human exploration vessels continued their journey, each mission another step in expanding human understanding. They weren't just exploring space. They were building bridges between civilizations. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, leading xenobiological research, discovered connections between different species that had been overlooked for generations. Human curiosity was opening doors that had been closed for millennia. The final transformation wasn't technological, it was philosophical. Humanity introduced a new way of thinking, viewing challenges as collective opportunities, differences as strengths, and progress as a collaborative journey. Commander Park's final transmission to the Galactic Council became legendary. "We're not here to fight your war. We're here to end it." Those simple words captured humanity's essence. They weren't conquerors. They were problem solvers. As the holographic displays flickered and alien representatives processed this new reality, one thing became clear. Everything had changed. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity's ascension wasn't about becoming a dominant species. It was about becoming a transformative one.